I shouldn't make that. I'll keep the green there. Yeah. Actually, yeah, since I'm gonna make that grass, I should probably just color it in now. I don't know why I was about to put the ground away. That wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, really saying that you guys really like the coloring videos. So I think for Sunday service, I'm gonna start doing coloring. Plus, too, I like to do it too because it kind of puts more work into my videos, and I do want to put more work in my videos. Everything else, and I don't mind working. I like to work. If anything, I like to work. Gives you something to do. Keeps you from being bored. And stuff. But plus, I'm a workaholic too, so. Like I remember, in my younger days. So see, this was back in 2020. Yeah, 2020. Where there was obviously probably was less videos back than I can imagine because I actually was working 2 jobs actually. As crazy as it sounds, I was working a full-time job and a part-time job. So basically I was working in a medical warehouse at the time. And this went on for half the year, so 6 months I was working a full-time job in a warehouse, a medical warehouse. And then of course I was pushing shopping carts at Target. So 2 jobs are really, have you moving around a lot. Now, of course, if I didn't have a busy schedule to help my family out, I probably would. I probably would consider 2 jobs again. But even if it came to that, though, I would still have time for videos. I would just. I can't do this unless I get closer. So hopefully this camera's not too close. But I can't color this properly unless I get close. Since this is the crown of thorns, I have to sharpen this thing a little bit. Because this crown box actually comes with a sharpener built into it. It's right here. A sharpener, you just stick it in. And you just spin it like that. So kind of like on cassette tapes, if you're old enough to remember. You take the cassette tape, like the little hole in the cassette tape, and you would stick it in and just turn it like to have a pen or a crayon to kind of rewind it. even though I'm almost 31, I do remember that. Now, obviously, that technology was people stopped doing it before I was born. But yeah, I always grew up with having cassette tapes. So eventually, it's something my mother taught me, and that she did. Because my mother is Gen X, so so she kind of told me that. She said, because we were kids, they said we would take silly putty and put them on the newspapers, because then it would mark off the ink from the newspaper would come off. I'll have to do a video on that. I'll have to get a newspaper and show it, because I don't think the younger kids know about that stuff. So I might do it as a retro thing to kind of show old things we used to do as kids. When I was in Gen X, both as kids. And of course, can't forget too, though, drinking from the water hose. I did that too. Even though that's not exactly the most safest water source. But too, back in the day, it was a different time back then, though, too. Where nowadays people are worried about, all these different things. They worry about health and everything else. They're worried about, this and that. But I mean, back then, I drink from where it was, even though, yes, it probably wasn't this, it's not the most best water source to drink from. But, because of things like that and playing outside, we had a strong immune system. And we didn't get sick all that much. Like I used to be able to get sick a lot because I was inside. Once I started playing outside, my mother kind of convinced me and pushed me to play outside more. I had a stronger immune system, and I was getting sick less often. Now, of course, I had to be careful as a kid because I was extremely allergic to poison ivy. And I think my body built a resistance because I've been very close to poison ivy. Like it used to be so bad where if I was near poison ivy, I think the wind would blow it because days too, it's not as bad. Now there is one time I got really bad poison ivy where I actually had to go to the doctor, and as crazy as it sounds, I actually almost went to the hospital because, like I said, I was badly allergic to poison ivy. Okay, yeah, so like I said, you can tell I have a different background. I had to record it. Yeah, I'm back in my place, so like I said, the background may be a little bit different, but I'll just finish where I left off hours ago. Because I had a family dinner to go to, so I couldn't finish recording, and I had to hurry up and go to the store and get something real quick. So I'll explain why the late upload. Do anything yellow? No, okay. I'm just gonna get a couple different colors. That way I'm not going back and forth so much. Colors did we do? Alright, if I had it the right way, I could maybe do it that way. Just like last time, I do want to do a rainbow look. Multiple different colors. This is this Crayola crayon. It's bad sharpening very badly. But yes, that's what I left off earlier. And I just gotta do the edit for just a general Sunday service. But yeah, since you guys like the coloring and everything else, I want to try to do more of this for Sunday service. And make it like a couple of videos. That way, plus too, there's more thought put into it. Like I do like to make sure I put a bit of thought into it. That way, it kind of shows the hard work that I'm doing. It's just similar to last week with the rainbow look. That's what I'm going to do for this, the grass, and then just a rainbow look. Since in the book of Genesis, when you look at the book of Genesis and the story of Noah, where, Noah was on the ark, and God told him, Noah, to basically take one of each animal, male and female of each animal, and put them onto the ark, and then of course to warn people. But unfortunately, people didn't listen to Noah and everything else. So unfortunately, that's when the Great Flood, as they call it, happened. Which exactly what it sounds like. People got left behind, and they basically drowned to death in the flood that came, in which they were warned about, but they didn't listen. They didn't heed God's warnings and Noah's warnings. And I know a lot of people, like a lot of atheists and people I've talked to in the past, usually people say stuff like, oh, well, if God is a loving God, why would he take out his own creation in a flood? And the best answer I could think of that for is, because I imagine there's somebody probably want an answer for that one. Oh, crap. I was trying to sharpen this yellow crown. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well as planned, and it destroyed the crown a little bit. I mean, it's still usable, but I have to get a tweezer or something, or a tack, and clean it out, because now it's jammed in there. Brother. I think I hate about sharpening crayons, is they're just horrible at sharpening. Like, sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're just complete crap, and just horrible at it. And I'm just like, oh boy, this is annoying. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of people they'll say like, oh, well, he must be an evil God, or he must be bad because he killed people, and he, took these people out who are sinning, and this and that. And I say, well, the reason why God did it was, and I'm sure there's some people, and there's some obviously which I say this reason to, and then a lot of people usually say that, like, it's not good enough, or it's a stupid reason, or a stupid answer, but basically, it's punishment for sin. Because when you look at it, like it says in the Bible, the wages wages of sin is death. So let's look back at the Genesis, the first story of the Bible, the book of Genesis, the story of creation. Adam and Eve, they eat from it, and that's what I wanted to say too. Is a lot of people people make fun, and some or just people just say in general, oh, it's a fruit. It was an apple, and this and that, which that's completely untrue because no version of the Bible says it was an apple. It was a fruit. Now, what fruit? It could be anything. It could be apples, bananas, peaches, this and that, whatever grows on trees. I don't know. I'm just saying, for example, of different fruits. Now, I do know that apples and peaches can grow on trees. That much I know because my girlfriend, she has her father plants, my girlfriend's father, he plants, peach tree at their house. Very good though too, actually. Their peaches are really good. But of course too, we have them nice and raw. As crazy as it sounds, but I'm weird like that too. Or I'll eat fruit raw. So basically, like literally raw. Like I don't even wash the fruit when I buy it from the store. I just eat it raw. Now some people would say, that it's health problem, this and that. You don't know what happened to the fruit. But it's probably just the way I raise the genetics way, where like, like you don't worry. Like you worry about health, but you don't sit there and worry about every 5 seconds of the day. And because like I said, so like that, I've built a strong immune system. But anyway, that's getting off track. That's for a whole other conversation. But yes, when it comes to Adam and Eve eat from the fruit, a fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the serpent, which obviously the devil, basically convinced Eve to eat from the fruit, unfortunately, and then she convinced Adam, and then of course that's when the crazy stuff went down. That's what led to them being kicked out of heaven. Because then they're like, oh, they're victims of their thing now. Now, obviously, this ain't word for word. It doesn't exactly say their exact words. But basically, just thinking about my perspective, what I would say, that part I think like, oh crap, we're naked. Why are we naked? Why did God make us naked? Crap, let's cover ourselves with fig leaves so that we can cover our nakedness because this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. We feel ashamed for being naked before the Holy Father, the one who created us. And then that's basically the beginning of the end, when God knew they ate from the fruit because, again, they were, like I said, they were naked and stuff like that, but they didn't know it. They were naked. Like if you were to go to them and say that they were naked, they just look at you. They probably would look at you funny and be like, "What in the hell is naked? What's naked? What does that mean?" Like they didn't know. They didn't know. And they learned about death and everything else. And then when they sinned, unfortunately, when they sinned, death entered the world. So theoretically, yes. If they did not eat from the fruit, which, they said, because the wages of sin is death. So like the punishment for sin is death. And when you think about it, that's why Jesus himself died on the cross. So when you think about it, it makes sense. But anyway, before I get off track again, I better do it the other way because I don't want the colors to mix. I want the color. Yeah, let's just do it this way, make it easier. That way there's more color. Anyway, and so unfortunately, when that happened, that's when death came in the picture, and humans just started to age. And she would, die, pass away, however you want to put it, Now, usually I say pass away because it's more comforting, instead of saying just like, oh, this person died. Usually, let's say the Gabriel says, like pass away or passed away, to kind of like, say in a more sensitive, easier to hear, nurturing kind of way, especially with someone like that, especially with somebody you care about, or just death in general. I don't like, personally for me, I don't like to see people die. Like, it just bothers me a lot. Especially, now, yes, I do know what happens. Now, of course, yes, I do have, what they call death anxiety. as a Christian because, it's scary because, as a Christian, obviously, yes, I've been baptized, and I know that, I will go to heaven, and I spread the gospel because, I want other people to be saved, yes, but also because I hope to, change people's minds. And some people, I remember, there's some people who actually told me, that like, they're like, oh yeah, well, I used to be an atheist, but now I don't know the way you say it without, unlike the church, where they like force it down your throat. You say it more of like, nicer ways of putting it, and you don't put it like so like judgy or judgmental. Which I tried to, like I said, I tried to do the best I can to say it how it is, like direct, honest truth, not hold back, and just tell you exactly the exact truth. But at the same time too, I tried to do it like a kind of like I learned from because I was mostly raised by women, because my father left. So I try to say it like a woman would, more nurturing and more like calm about it. Where I feel like a lot of Christians like they're too jumpy to say like this person's going to hell, this person's going to hell, and I'm like, okay, seriously, I hate to break the news to you, but if it wasn't for Jesus dying on the cross for us, we would all go there. And that even means you guys are, even those who, again, like say, like the Christians who spread it, say, oh, well, this group is going there, this group's going. I'm like, no, actually, if it wasn't for Jesus, we all would meet each other down there because of our sin, and everything else. The wages of sin is death. We would all end up there. Now, yes, luckily because Jesus, like I said, God cares about us so much, and He loves us so much. He gave up His only begotten Son, being Jesus, and He allowed Jesus to be tortured, abused, and tortured and humiliated in front of His friends, His own mother and family, so that we had the chance to survive. He took the hell for us, and He took the death for us, because He loves you so much. He loves and cares for you so much. Because when you look at historically, you look what happened to Him. He was beaten, like to the point where, like, you can watch different documentaries, movies that they show an idea of what he was hit with, like whips with little ball pieces on it that would rip apart your skin. Like I said, he was beaten. He had to carry a cross that was extremely heavy. Like Jesus was treated just horribly. And all he wanted to do, like I said, all he wanted to do is spread His love and save people. And because even the story, assuming it's true, and assuming that history is correct, Pontius Pilate, the one who was the one that said if they wanted to spare Barabbas, which was a mass murderer, or Jesus, the people, for God knows what reason, were demanding and all excited about Jesus being crucified, and not some man who was taking multiple lives and adding bodies to his count of people he's taken out. It's all part of like Jesus, like literally, he went for all that, was humiliated. He was betrayed by His own people who were afraid to admit. But that's because back then if you admitted to being a follower of Jesus, you would be crucified along with Jesus. Or in some cases too, some of His people, actually, like I said, or Christians in general, were fed to lions. Literally, like they were tied or secured, or they were loose, and they were basically out to chase and run until the lion chased them down and ate them, and not even like taken down, like eaten alive. Suffering like that. One of the disciples was hung on a cross upside down. But that's because he felt that he didn't deserve to die the way Jesus did. So he requested to be hung upside down, which I was to my surprise too, that they actually honored that, which I'm surprised because, back then, like they were just like, it was just somehow Jesus, like they just did not like Him, and they were just so cruel to Him. And it was Jesus, but too, it was Jesus who said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. So instead of, Jesus saying, You know what? Humans, that's it. Angels just go berserk, go completely crazy, and do whatever you have to do. He didn't say that. Did he have the thoughts of it? I don't know. It doesn't say exactly. However, I guess probably not, because it's like Jesus. Because I'm saying Jesus is God in the flesh, and like Jesus said, I and the Father are one. And so, it was the ultimate sacrifice of love. And Jesus easily could have said, you know what, Father, please just take these humans out. They're evil, and they're very bad, nasty people, and I want to live. And it's not to say denying that Jesus was afraid. He was. He knew what was going to happen. Because as the blood dripped down, like literally, it's an actual sign. It's an actual health condition. Oh, jeez, I can't even talk right to stuttering. It was an actual health condition, if I could ever say it without stuttering, that you can get so stressed that you start to bleed, you start to sweat blood. And that's what Jesus did. He was sweating blood from all this. Now, of course, yes, a lot of it had to do with the crown of thorns. Since it was thorns that were literally, because when you think about it, if you put a crown of thorns on your head, what's going to happen? It's going to scrape and cut up your skin, all layers of your skin, and you're going to start bleeding like crazy. But like I said too, there's also a condition where you could be so stressed that you start sweating blood. And to which, that's the same way like Christians say that Jesus took the hell for you. He took all that punishment, everything else, for you. But it's also true too, that Jesus actually was a Jew. Yeah, Jesus was Jewish. For those who may not have heard, because I know I have some people who have never really heard religion or something like that. Yes, it's very true. Jesus was a Jew. Was Jewish. He was a Jewish man. Now was was Mother Mary Jewish or Joseph? Mary and Joseph, Jesus, the earthly human parents of Jesus. I don't know. I don't think the Bible says exactly what. I'm not sure. I have to read the passage. I'm not sure about that. So, like I said, I don't want to put that. I don't want to say for sure, and then I get it wrong. Because I don't want to say. I don't want to say and get it wrong, and then God's like, dude, that's not even true. Why'd you say it? It's like I said, anything I say, I'm always extremely careful how I say, because I don't want to displease God and then say the wrong thing, because like I said, when I spread the gospel, I want to spread the true gospel. So that one I have to look up. So I don't want to tell false information. But yeah. So and after that, that's basically why humans age. And why we age, and why, death has entered the world. Because before that, we would have lived forever. Probably. Because if we didn't sin, the wages of sin is death. So there probably wouldn't be, death. So we would basically live forever. I mean, if we look at the Bible, there's people who live for hundreds, like several hundreds of years old. And if it wasn't for the devil tricking Eve and Eve tricking Adam, we probably would have lived that long. And that'd be cool too. I mean, I can only imagine me, ASMR Wolf, still doing ASMR videos, and it's the year, I don't know, let's say 2200. Yeah, so 2200. And I'm still young in my prime, despite being born in 1994. But I said, unfortunately, because they sinned, kind of ruins it for the rest of us. Unfortunately, and unfortunately, humans are cursed with the original sin. The original sin basically cursed the ground, and it cursed the earth. So unfortunately, again, same thing. We were stuck with the original curse, which being the curse that Adam and Eve put upon us. But good news, Jesus can save you. Now some people say, well, how does Jesus save you? Or how do you know you're saved by Jesus? Well, what you do is basically you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You read the Bible, learn about the Bible, you spread the gospel so that others also can discover it. And I know some people might say, like, well, then you want to get baptized too, because baptism shows that you're dedicated to this life and you want to be a Christian and you want to be saved. Now, it doesn't save you, but like I said, it shows that you're dedicated to it and you really want to be saved and you want to learn how to be saved. Now, I understand some people might say, like, oh, the church, the Catholic, and I hate to say it, but unfortunately, Catholic Church, other churches too, but the Catholics somehow do this. Where, like I said, some people were molested, or there were some people who unfortunately were pedophiles, or some people who just, like I said, were judged harshly and told, oh, well, you're going to X, that place, I'll say, because of sin. Which I hate when Christians say stuff like that, because it's not your place to say who goes to hell. It's not your place. I say to those people, are you God? Do you know for sure? Oh, you don't? Okay, then stop saying it. Like, literally, stop fucking saying it. It's annoying. And it's like, I understand where you're coming from in the Bible, or you're recording what the Bible says, but at the end of the day, that person can change and enter heaven. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of those people who do stuff like that, they're going to be very surprised at the end of times. They're going to be surprised to see who enters heaven and who actually is going to hell and stuff. Here we go. Nice rainbow look. Oh yeah, that's what I was explaining. The rainbow. Yeah. Basically, the rainbow is a promise from God. It's basically God's. It's a symbol of God's promise that He would not flood the earth again and stuff. And I understand that some people say they'd be abusing church stuff. I understand that because my uncle is Jewish. Because I have a mix. My family's a mix of Jewish and Catholic and Christian. But Catholic and Christian are basically the same thing, just a different form of Christianity. But you get the idea. So Christian, Catholic, and Jewish. And unfortunately, the Catholic Church said, she won't say everything, but she said they had sexist comments to say to her, and they said things that she didn't agree with, and they kind of forced it down her throat and stuff like that, which kind of led her away from the church, the Catholic Church. And they basically told us, my mother, because his uncle is Jewish, he cannot be his godfather because we can't allow that because he needs to grow up Christian, and if he's Jewish, he's going to turn him Jewish. So, whatever the racist version of, that is, I think they call it. I can't remember. There's a certain word they call it. I can't remember what they call it. There's something it's like racism, but for like Jewish people. I can't remember what they call it now. I want to say it's xenophobic or something. I can't remember. There's some name for it. I just can't remember at the moment. But basically, whatever that word is, yeah. And I could tell too, because I remember as a kid them saying it like it definitely sounded like a racist thing or something like that. I'm like, you're a church. You're not like literally the Bible shows like to love your neighbor, and the way it insinuates again that God is a fair and just judge, but we aren't to judge each other, but to love each other and spread His word, and stuff like that, and spread His word, but not in a judgmental way. And personally, I think if Jesus was there, he'd be like, "What are you talking about? I was Jewish, and I died for your sins. So who are you to tell these people that He can't be a godfather because He's Jewish? Do you not realize that you worship me, a Jewish man, who bled and died on the cross and got humiliated just for you? You realize how crazy you sound right now saying that to somebody." Now, I don't know if that'd be Jesus' word exactly, but I can imagine he'd be insinuating something like that. So I understand that too when people say like they would treat me at the church. I said, see it. It's man, woman, or whoever it is that's doing this to you. That's them. But, it's not the fault of God, because he didn't tell them. You didn't go to them and say, hey person, whatever the name, John Doe, Jane Doe, whatever their name is, Billy, Sue, Sarah, Joe, whatever their name is. You know what you should do? You should pretend like you're a Christian and push these people away and treat them like crap. And it's like God wouldn't do that, to me, I think God's sitting there looking at these people and they're like, seriously, why are you judging when I told you to love each other? Don't put people in judgment. And I think, and personally for me, it's like, these people who put people in judgment, you're pushing people further away from being a Christian. You make people not want to be Christian to where they're like, I want to be part of that. You're judging, and you guys sound like a bunch of, judgmental people, and I want no part of it. And unfortunately, and I see it too, because my girlfriend's father, he used to go to church and stuff, but he was forced into the Christian life. He was constantly being pushed into it, left, right, and center, and just, and judged harshly by the church to where eventually, like nowadays, like he left the church years ago, and he wants nothing to do with it at all, and there's nothing that, people can do to convince him. And I see stuff like that all the time. And I don't usually hate a lot, but that's something I hate. Like, I hate that, because it's like, you're making God look bad when he's not. Like, he's here, he loves us, he wants to take care of us, but so many people like that just make it look bad, and it's just like, it's like embarrassing in a way, because it's like, this is not how we're supposed to act. Jesus literally loved people. He didn't go to people and tell them that this or that. He would say it simply how it is, in a loving way, but he wouldn't sit there and say in a harsh, mean, cruel way of if people keep doing this is what's gonna happen, Like, I don't think Jesus would approve of that. Like these Christians who constantly tell people that they're going to hell and stuff, and I'm like, who died and elected you Pope? Or when did God disappear and decide to make you God? It's like, you're not God. It's not your place. Not my place, nobody's place. I'm not going to say, it's up to God. Like, if God decides that's someone's fate, then, unfortunately, that's their fate. But, it's not our job. And to me, it's like, as a Christian, it's my job to, spread the gospel and spread God's word so that people can understand it better, and people can understand what God means by the things that he says and the things that he wants us to do. But when it comes to judgment, that's when, people like me step aside and be like, all right, God, this is your job. Like, we don't know how, like we've committed sin. We've done all sorts of sin, so we are not worthy of doing this. Like, this is all you, God. Like, just color this real quick while I ramble on you guys. I said, this is all you, God. So, whatever you have to say, whatever you have to do, I'll leave it up to you. To back to my main point. So, that's basically the point of the flood. It was punishment for sin. And, the people didn't want to listen to Noah when he warned them time and time again. But they just did not want to listen to him at all. And unfortunately, when it was too late and the flood was already coming and the final warning was passed, that's when, people were basically doing the whole oh no, forgive me, please, it's just, this and that. But the problem is, by then it was too late. Because they kept getting warned over and over again, but kept on sinning and committing all sorts of sin. And all that stuff, and weren't listening to Noah, who God used as his messenger and stuff. Because that's how, but that's how God gets to people. He brings people to you, or he brings you to other people, so that he can spread his message more personally. And I believe too that that's why I said Sunday service. I think it was God's plans. Especially because I know that, like I said, some of you tell me the stuff that you go through in your personal life, which, again, like I usually say, I won't say because, people will tell me that's between, like I always say, that's between them and God. Now, I guess me in a way because they tell me, but like I said, I stay out of it. But, like I said, I help people, I talk to them and everything else. And I message people daily. And like the live streams, I like to do the live streams because it helps me to connect with you guys. And I can see how you're doing. I like to keep up with you guys and make sure to see what you guys are doing. And I like getting the messages because, like I said, some people are going through things, like I'm going through tough times. I like to keep up with them because I want to make sure that they're okay. And stuff like that. And that if you ever feel like I said, if you ever feel extremely depressed, or like you feel like, oh, nobody cares about me or this or that, I say, not true. I care about you. Sure, I'm just some random stranger on the internet who, is some guy who whispers in videos that does ASMR, and does live streams, but I said it don't matter to me. I said, oh my God, I love the world. Even as, like I said, I was bullied constantly in school and stuff like that, and I at one point, at many points actually, off camera when I was a teenager. So this was back obviously this is back before I started ASMR. But some of the people subscribed to this channel actually remember me originally. That behind the screen, obviously behind the camera, I was trying to take my own life. Now, luckily for me, I never succeeded because I couldn't follow through with it because it made me more depressed as I did it. But yes, at a course, if I were to take a guess, because I did so many times I can't remember, it was from or before I lost count, probably at least like 10, 12 times, maybe more. Which I know sounds crazy, but like I said, that was the unfortunate reality. When I was a teenager, I was just starting YouTube, and I was very depressed. And of course, as I got older, and I was just starting ASMR, eventually I became an alcoholic because of my past. It made me depressed and everything else. I didn't feel good about myself. And I was kind of thinking, I'm like, well, because I used to think like, I was like, I have all this trauma and everything else. I was like, what could a wreck like me do? It's like I'm not getting much views, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to help people, but it's not going anywhere. Now, of course, there's other things too, but that was one of them. Now, of course, at the time too, I was single, so that was making me depressed too, because I'm the kind of person because I have separation anxiety. So, if I'm left alone for too long, I get depressed. I get upset and really depressed and stuff like that. But I don't know, obviously nowadays, I always have somebody near me, so I don't have that, problem. But, like I said, I'm not afraid to, go through because, I like to say the truth and not hide the truth. I mean, like I said, the truth will set you free. But also, too, because I want to be able to relate to people and know that if you're going through, like, severe, trauma or severe depression, stuff like that, like, and it's not just me saying, like, I understand, like, I went through some of the things that people tell me, like, I went through the same thing or similar things. And so, I understand, like, you feel like you want to give up, or you feel like, life is really hard. I'm like, I know what that's like. It's a scary place. And a lot of times when I was in that place, I was scared. I was very, very scared, to where it made me depressed more. But at the same time, too, as I grew my YouTube community and stuff like that, in some sense, in some ways, growing this community and stuff like that, it gave, now obviously I had other motivation too, but also growing this community too, it gives me that motivation. It gives me the motivation every day to wait when I wake up. The one thing I think about most is making videos for you guys, and knowing that every day I wake up, every day that is a gift from God, and every day I get to continue struggle every day, you know, I like the idea that I'm here for them so that I can help them to be saved, and I can help save them from whatever stress they're going through, or help them in any way, even if it's just a little bit. I still love that, because like I said, I treat this for our YouTube community. That's why I always say our YouTube family, because to me it's like our extended family. You know, sure, we don't know each other, we're just a bunch of people random on the internet, but to me it's more than just that. You know, I want to share, like I said, I want to share my love with the world. That even someday when I do get rich, you know, like I said, I want to share my money and share the wealth. When I do, you know, obviously I get rich. Obviously I'm not. You know, I wish I was. I wish. But someday when I do, I would definitely give back to my community. You know, give to the homeless and the poor, the middle class. You know, really help people struggling. As at one point in my life, I was struggling badly financially, and you know, I know what that's like, and I want to help people to get out of that situation too. And that's which is why definitely when my YouTube channel does go viral and I do hopefully get rich, I definitely want to make charities to help all sorts of people around the world, around the United States and just around the world. Anybody who's feeling poverty, hunger. Like, if it was up to me, if it was up to me and I got rich, I would even donate every penny I had. If it meant that I had to get rich all over again, I had to do it all over again. But it would end world hunger. It would end cancer. It would end all these problems that people have, so that people could live even better than that. I would be at that point. I would do it. Now, obviously, to do that, it would have to be like a multi-billionaire or a trillionaire or a gazillionaire, which of course I'm nowhere near that amount. I really wish I was the richest person in the world, because I'd be spraying the wealth all over the place, and it would help millions, if not billions, or trillions of people. But like I said, you know, people that help you on YouTube, I like it because it's a start. And eventually, when I can, I do want to spread out more in the world, which is why I want to be more well known too. Because, like I said, I want to help the world. I've always been about helping people. I've helped people all my life. You know, even if it was something that kept me from doing something I wanted to do, I did anyway. I had a love in my heart. That's just, you know, like I said, I just have too much love in my heart, you know, and I just see so many people suffering, and it makes me sad, because I don't want to see anybody suffer. I want everybody to thrive. I want everybody to wake up and be like, you know what, this is a good day. I'm alive. I'm healthy, you know, and I got food in the fridge, you know, a roof over my head. And someday I hope I could be rich, so that I could start to change people's lives and do that for everybody. Even in countries that, again, have severe poverty, I would go there and donate food. I would try to help build houses. Like, I would try to do, like, you know, whatever I can to help people the best of my ability. But that's what I like about this channel, is that people who really need my help are getting that help. And I like that, because that's what I want to do. You know, I want to help people. I want to be that hope that for people that's like, you know, it's not the best in the world. I'm dealing with all these things I'm dealing with. But, boy, the stupid clock had to go off at the worst possible time. And of course I forgot what I was talking about, but yeah, I think I remember. But yeah, basically that's my goal. Like, I do want to help a lot of people. And like I said, even here, like, if it's just some people, like I said, at the start, because, you know, like I said, I want to help people, and I would even tell God, like, you know, God, if you have anybody, you know, bring them to my channel. You know, I want to help them. I want to help them get through stuff, help them to relax, help give people the hope that they need to keep moving forward, so that they continue in their life to get stronger and better. Anyway, yeah, probably has said that, you know, I'm rambling on for so long that this will have the ever beginning part. So this video probably would be an said, I wanted to show more work. So that's why I want to do this. So that's why every Sunday I want to try and do like, coloring and Sunday service, Christian edits. Like I want to put a lot of work into it, even if the uploads end up being later than I want to. From the editing, doing the actual videos, and then trying to squeeze it in my schedule, and all that stuff the best I can. I want to do that. But yeah. But anyway, I'm like starting to freak out. I'm like tired because it's like, let's see. Yeah, because like right now it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, so my brain's a little, it's a little sleepy. And I'm starting to like lose my train of thought. It's like I saw in the video here before I lose my train of thought. Well, I rambled on for 10,000 years, but I want to make it nice and long, But anyway, it says in this video is a lot longer than Reggie was thinking about making it, so and being that this video is almost an hour, it's probably gonna take. I'll have to have the app upload this video overnight because when it's long like this, it takes a really long time to edit the video. Like this is probably gonna take 30 minutes or to an hour to edit. The time the app on my phone edits it and everything, I won't be surprised. At least 30 minutes tops. The worst an hour, but maybe a little less. But it's probably more like 30. But it depends. Man, I'm tired. Well, like I said, I'm kind of tired. I don't know if I could stay up much longer. Anyway, but yeah. So that's it for this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Ever see my videos? I think you can watch this video. And like I said too, on my social media too, sometimes it takes me time to see, but I check it every day. But yeah, like I said, if you're ever going through something like that, but you don't want to put it publicly, like I said, you could always message me on there. Like I said, nobody sees it. Like my girlfriend doesn't see it, my team doesn't see it, like nobody. Like I keep like stuff like that. I keep like a therapist or psychiatrist does, completely confidential between me and you, and stuff like that. And it's something. If you ask my team too, they tell you that too. They tell people. There's some people I asked, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like Wolf. I said, don't even think about asking to see that because he'll tell you right off the bat. There's no way in shit that's happening. Like I said, now yes, obviously, if somebody said something, that's against the law, yes, I have to report it. But like I said, that's never happened yet, so I hope not. Like I said, just like if people are going through things or they're going through a really tough time, but they don't want to say it, publicly, like they want to say it more privately. Let's say, you can always message me stuff like that. Like I said, stuff like like anything like private messaging. Like I said, I keep it between us. It's confidential. Or as I call it, Wolf's Promise, as I call it. I don't know. Just say like that to kind of make it funny, in a way. Like, in a funny, cute kind of way, I guess you could say. We get the idea. Anyway, yeah, as I said, I rambled on enough. Like I said, something else was going to say, but I'm so tired, I can't freaking remember what it was. If I remember, I'll say it in I'll say it in another video, but I can't remember. I'm like so tired. I'm like getting ready to fall asleep just doing this video. Well, I want to try to extend this as long as humanly possible. Anyway, so yeah, so that's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. I think you watch this video. And remember, you're never alone. If you're going through something, you're never alone. You got God and you got Jesus. And if some people say, I don't believe, okay, well, you got me. You got me, and I'll never leave. And that's Wolf's promise. I will never leave. And I will always be here on social media to talk to you and help you through it. Help you through everything. So at one time I did quit YouTube for a bit, and I remember so many people were upset about that and didn't want me to quit and everything else, and I felt so bad. Because at the time I wasn't getting enough views. I wasn't sure what to do, and I was so confused. But of course I was young too, so I didn't know what to do. But yeah, definitely, even if if I ran out of ideas and uploading was less, I still wouldn't leave YouTube. Like I'm stubborn, so it's kind of like, nowadays where I'm like, I wouldn't want to give up if I had to, take time to think of different ideas or something so I can I said, if you're going for something, remember, even if it feels like there's no one there to support you, I'm there. I am there for you. And it doesn't matter if we know a person, in real life or not. It doesn't matter. I love you, and I want you to thrive. I want you to wake up the next morning and feel good, and know within yourself, you can do it. You just gotta give yourself credit and tell yourself, hey, I may not have a lot of people, or I feel like that person, but you know what, this guy Wolf on the internet, he's got my back, and everything. I don't know him, he doesn't know me, but he has my back. He makes these videos to support me, and you know what? That's at least somebody I have that cares. That's at least somebody that's there to support me. Even in this, and this guy doesn't know me, but he wants to support me anyway because he has that much love in his heart.